Aloha, this is Christo Ruppenthal. I'm the HSGA Hawaiian Steel Guitar Association president, and I am just here to announce that what is to follow is the first, I hope, in a series of interviews with Hawaiian steel guitar players from around the world. This first discussion is with a great German steel guitar player, Sebastian Miller. And Sebastian has very generously offered to publish one of his transcriptions from one of his lovely videos, which have been going by on Facebook and YouTube, etc. This particular one, which he's offered to our members, is "Oh Lady Be Good," and we'll be discussing that and his process for making videos and all kinds of other fun stuff. And so I'm just here to briefly introduce the video, but also just to encourage people to join the HSGA if you love Hawaiian steel guitar music. We offer a wide range of benefits to members, including a quarterly magazine which has a tabbed out song in every issue, as well as news and other items related to Hawaiian steel guitar music. We are also building currently a video archive of past performances, which is available to members, featuring a lot of special and great players going back many years. In addition to that, our members will soon gain access to a large archive of tabbed out songs and music from past issues. And so the benefits to being a member of the HSGA are continuing to grow. And we hope that you're willing to join us. And we look forward to seeing you both online at our upcoming virtual festival and other events, as well as our in-person gathering that we're hoping to get together again early next year. So without further ado, here's my interview with Sebastian Miller, and I hope that you enjoy, and aloha. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Sebastian Miller on the screen with me. How are you doing?
Thanks, and thanks for having me. I'm doing good, preparing for my summer vacation, where I want to play a lot of steel guitar at the beach in Italy.
Very
So
exciting.
looking forward to that.
Yeah, nice. Do you want to? Well, why don't we start with where are you from?
I am based in Berlin for the last 20 years, and I was raised in the south of Germany in a pretty musical family. Like my father was a church choir leader, and so music always played a big role in the family. Yeah.
Great. So what brought you to the Hawaiian steel guitar?
Yeah, that's an interesting story, I would say. It's like my parents-in-law used to live in Hawaii for 10 years. And in this period of time, we visited them quite a bit. And on the vacation, and on one, especially one, we were at the Kona brewery, and Ledward Kapana was playing.
Great.
That you also know, right? Like the great slack key guitarist, and that definitely made me interested. And I think I bought a DVD, Bob Prosman, that I think the Ledward Kapana playing slack key thing, hosted by Bob Prosman.
They have that.
And so I learned that just for fun, and then.
And this is actually more fingerstyle slack key guitar, like what Led does. You're working on first.
Yeah, totally. It's like the Hawaiian finger style folk picking thing in a way, right? Yeah, but it's already in open G tuning, right? And so that's pretty similar to what I'm using in the moment. And so that was maybe the first step into open tunings and introduction to Hawaiian music.
Mm-hmm. And how about what grabbed your ear for steel guitar, like to kind of push you into doing that?
It was also a compilation record by, I think, that Bob Prosman put together. I think it's the what is it, Hawaiian Steel Guitar Masters, or Masters of Hawaiian Steel Guitar. It's actually
One of the ones on Rounder?
I think it's on Rounder, yeah.
Yeah, those are great, sure. Okay.
It was a great start, I have to say. So a lot of the tunes I still totally love are on that compilation.
Yeah.
And so I was really listening to Slack Key, and then I listened to that stuff, and I just thought that sounds even more Hawaiian, right? So if you were traveling or driving the streets on Hawaii, listening to that kind of music, that really totally fit. And I was pretty hooked. And I think it was really the King Benny Navahi tuned Honolulu Bound, where he's playing this crazy triplet stuff, and I just thought, this is really impressive. It's like it's so old, and they had such a good energy and stuff. So
yeah. So, how about your instruments? You have a lot of beautiful instruments behind you. What are your favorite guitars to play, and what do you use to do the stuff that you do most?
Yeah, I really think like my main guitar is the tricone that you see here in the back, right? And it's a National from 31 style one, and it's a beautiful guitar. It was like I had to order it by mail, of course, because there's no way that you can find such an instrument in Germany, or it's super rare, I would say. Yeah. So I ordered it from Mandolin Brothers. So, but I started out, I think, with a Republic tricone, like this Chinese copies.
Yeah.
And that was also definitely a fine guitar, but this is the real deal. You play one as well, right? So you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, for sure. In fact, I've only had my tricone for less than a year, but I just love it. I was playing a Weisenborn prior to that, but yeah, the tricone, there's just something about it. It's got that full, huge sound, and all of the dynamics and all the harmonics and everything just ring through.
Yeah, and I really think like the old ones, they just sound really, it's kind of a cliche and it sounds very Hawaiian, but they sound sweet. They really sound warmer, and like I played the newer ones, and I even think like the National Rasophonic ones, they sound different. They sound louder, and but maybe not as sweet as the old ones. But I have to do A/B tests to really compare. But that's my feeling.
Yeah.
I have new cones in it, so it's National Rasophonic cones. They're really good.
It seems like that's a typical upgrade that a lot of them go through, and I've heard many times over that it improves the sound to do that. So depending on the instrument, I guess. But
yeah. I don't know. I like the cones that were inside. I think they were original, but really heavy ones.
Yeah.
And they didn't sound good. That's for sure. Like putting the new ones in mine was a huge difference.
Yeah. Excellent.
Definitely worth it. Yeah.
And so that guitar is the one that you're using on the song that you have done and shared with the HSGA. It's Oh Lady Be Good, which I'm assuming you took heavy influence from Sol Hopi'i's versions. Is that true?
It's almost a one-to-one copy of it. I would say hopefully pretty accurate.
Well, that was Sebastian doing "Oh Lady Be Good," and can you tell us about why, like the arrangement and what was going on in the song?
It is, I think, a pretty typical Soul Hopi song where he's playing a lot of his typical runs and also some quite sophisticated jumps over the whole fretboard. So if you are not able to play it right away at the speed of soul, don't worry. It's kind of advanced, but I think the normal like the theme is not too hard to play, and it's beautiful, and I think it's full of this nice. Like he's also using split bar slants and stuff like that, and so where you can get actually a lot of dominant 7 colors out of this rather simple tuning, but I think it's pretty powerful.
And what tuning do you use? What tuning was used by Soul for that?
It's the A high bass tuning, right? It's very for everybody who plays dobro. It's the same thing as dobro tuning, just a whole step up.
Mm-hmm.
And I started using G dobro tuning, and because also like it was on the Bob Brosman DVD, it was on the Stacey Phillips books. They are all in G.
I found that a lot of that stuff was in G. A lot of it, the instructional stuff, when I was starting to.
Yeah, no, it is. I think it's really. They just when they wrote these books, they just thought, I guess, so many people are playing G tuning, so let's rather use G tuning.
Yeah.
And but I was at a certain point where I always said, okay, if I want to transcribe something by Soul, I always have to detune like his version by a whole tone, and I also thought there might be a reason why he used a high bass, right? So the sound is maybe different.
Yeah.
And so I tuned it I bought a set of string that kind of fits the pitch better. I looked at John Eli's page, like he has this really nice page where you can find the proper strings for your tuning. Yeah, and I really liked it, and my band hated me for it because they had to relearn all the songs whole step up. But no, I think it sounds pretty good, and it's also funny. Some of my students and people I recommended to change to A, they say it's a big difference, and they stay there in a way. They don't change back.
Yeah. So you mentioned your band. You want to talk about that a little bit? You have a gigging. Well, in normal times, you would have a gigging band running.
Yes, exactly. So that was the band. It was actually it began that I just played with a friend of mine some bluegrass stuff, and I was playing dobro at the time. Mm-hmm. And then another friend joined, and I think we just had like I was playing a song called "Sailing to Hawaii" that I learned also as a dobro tune. Mm-hmm. That was our first Hawaiian song, and I think then we added a couple of another Hawaiian songs. And after a short while, we just realized what we had with Hawaiian music was so much more special, I would say, in Berlin at least. Like there are no other Hawaiian bands, so we just changed the concept of the band and said, okay, we are a Hawaiian band from now on.
It basically went through exactly the same experience with one of my groups here in town. We played French swing, Django stuff, and French popular music from back then, and we started adding in a few slack key tunes where I was strumming the ukulele and my friend was playing the guitar, and people just freaked out about it, and we kept building and building until we had a full repertoire of Hawaiian music, and it just kind of the whole direction changed. So what's the name of your band?
It's Hula Hut and the Seven Seas.
Nice. And you have a website and records or anything available?
Yeah, we have a website. We have a record that's kind of available. If you're in Berlin, you can catch us and get a copy. It's like sending it all over the world. I kind of stopped it because it was a little bit too much of a trouble. Yeah, and coming back to it was a trio in the beginning, and we had a couple of gigs playing mostly instrumental. And then Yuko was joining. She's a musician I used to work with when I was where I was doing electronic music, and we worked with her as a singer. And I told her about a Hawaiian band, and she said, "Oh, that sounds awesome!" I sent her some Taumoi songs, and she came into the rehearsal room and really nailed the songs perfectly. So and she just said it's not too hard because she's Japanese, right? And she said like the Hawaiian singing is pretty similar to Japanese classical singing, and so it came pretty easy for her. She said, yeah.
Nice. Sounds good. And do you have recordings online or on your website? You have samples of some of this stuff or videos maybe?
Yes, yeah, definitely. So if you go, if you search for hulahut.net, you will find stuff. Yeah.
Great.
It's rather old though, so I kind of feel bad because I have so many videos, and we don't have one from the band yet. So we are actually next thing we want to do is doing a proper video together.
Like in the style of the ones that you've been doing from home?
Yes, yeah, where you have better close-ups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Before that, we had some. Yeah, it was just one camera in a crappy sounding room, and
So your videos, they seem really well produced, and it's great that you have the multiple cameras and stuff. Do you want to talk about your process a little bit on that? Because I'm sure that a lot of people who are watching this have seen them go by. So
yeah. It is definitely my idea was that, or from my experience, right? When you playing steel guitar, and sometimes I practiced outside during my lunch breaks, and people are really interested in this strange instrument, and so I just thought, that people can see actually when you're playing it, that makes a big difference. Yeah, and I think I watched a couple of stuff from Craig Booth and some of these Weissenborn players, and I was really impressed. There were some really nice and aesthetic looking ones, and I just thought, okay, maybe I do something similar. And so my normal process is I record the song first, and then I do the videos and can use different angles and stuff like that.
Okay.
What means you have to play the song always pretty exactly the same.
Yeah.
So otherwise it looks pretty off, and it's pretty obvious. Yeah.
And did you have a home studio for that for your recording that you work in to do those?
I have actually a pretty good studio, but I'm not using it for my Hawaiian recordings. Yes. So like the Hawaiian stuff, it's done actually really here. It's our living room. It's our kitchen. Yeah. And it sounds really live and really it's a big room, and that I sometimes think steel guitar is a little bit like a snare drum. Without a room, it's not working that good, and so a good sounding room helps.
Well, speaking of videos, I guess maybe we should see another one. And on this one, you're going to be playing the electric guitar, I believe, and you want to set up the song and maybe talk about that instrument as well?
Sure. So next song is Twilight Blues, and it's it's actually a pretty exact transcription, I hope, of the Dick McIntyre version.
Okay.
And I'm using the long scale fry pen for that one.
Cool. So we'll check that out next. And I want to thank you for taking some time and chatting. And good luck with everything. And let's stay in touch. And for all you HSGA members who are watching, there'll be a transcription of that earlier tune, "Oh Lady Be Good," in our midsummer newsletter. And you can reach out to Sebastian if you need some help. His contact information will be in there. I believe you should be able to get play along, perhaps, if you can get it up to speed directly from him. And you can speak for yourself, but I think you're looking for students and selling tabs of your various projects as well. So if you want to talk about that a second before we watch the last video.
Sure, no problem. It's like I was really I really started with this whole video things as a kind of educational tool. I don't know if it's educational tool, but it's like that people can really see how it's played and stuff like that. Because I just thought when it comes to this old style of Hawaiian steel guitar playing, there are not so many videos out. So it was like I never had in mind that I would do tabs or sell tabs or teach or stuff like that. It was more like these videos I got way better response than I really would ever have thought, especially on Facebook. It was really in the beginning was pretty tremendous. And then people ask me, okay, are there any tabs? And I nah. And I think we were talking about the pandemic, right? So the good thing about the pandemic for me was that I kicked myself in the ass and just said, okay, let's do tabs. And I got the right program doing it. And I tapped one, and that the response was also pretty good. And then I did the tabs for all of my videos, and so now this is also the plan. If I release a video, you will always there's always the tabs and playbacks available. And if you want them, just get in touch with me. I charge some money for it, but I hope it's reasonable priced. And when it comes to students, I started giving lessons. Like I have a day job, right? I work as a sound designer, so I can't take too many students. And I also realized in summertime I have less time because I want to be more outside. And so. But if somebody is interested in learning that style and definitely wants to get started or whatever, I'm happy to offer some lessons, at least for the beginning. And in winter times, I have more time, so
yeah,
we'll see.
Sounds good. So once again, we got Twilight Blues coming up, right? Up next on the electric guitar. Thank you, Sebastian, for taking some time to talk to us about this cool project and your instruments and everything else.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, and I really hope, like, I've been to one of the conventions, I think a couple of years ago, and I really hope now that traveling is possible again, like we all meet somewhere at a convention would be awesome.
That's what I'm hoping. We're hoping for early next year. Details to be forthcoming. So, all right.
Good. All right.
Mahalo, aloha. Thank you.
Aloha. Good talking to you. Bye-bye.
Bye.